Good afternoon. Today's yoga class is a grounding practice based on some work and studies I've been doing in restorative practices. And so I put the information in the announcement, and it'll be below this link too if you want to investigate some of those links that inspire this practice. Today we're going to be doing a grounding practice, and it's going to be centered around the element earth. I'm using the classical elements earth, fire, water, air, and space. But you can translate it to any language you want. And so earth definitely is a grounding practice. If you want to think in terms of chakras, you can think of in terms of your first chakra. And women, often female, you're going to think in terms of your first and second chakra. So try to stay connected to that throughout our practice. And let's see what else. We're going to use the breath as we've been doing in the past practices, inhaling, focusing on an awareness of our inhale and exhale, and maybe you can explore a little bit how that breath is in each posture as we go through it. And these will be familiar postures that we've been using since the beginning of the year. Very slow. I do this every day, and I'll explain a little bit more as the month goes along. Our next element will be water, so it's kind of fun to connect to the elements and think of, in terms of this practice, what earth means to you. So I like to think of concrete words, and again, I like to use the landscape and pictures of that in my brain as I'm breathing in and out. And my body inside feels like this vast universe, so that's what we're going to use, or what I will use is that visualization as I click into earth. So we're going to come to a seated position and begin by stacking the vertebrae one on top of another. Tuck the chin slightly, lengthen through the crown of the head. If you've been engaged in activities that are stimulating, you're going to want to take the palms and rest them up on the lap gently. Let the fingertips curl. And just bring your awareness into the space. Maybe check in with your body, see where you are holding as you stack your vertebrae and start engaging to sit up tall. And then blinking the eyes open, bringing the hands together and rubbing. So when I think of earth, I think of what I can touch, what I can smell, what I can see, what I can feel, what I can experience, because that is our connection to earth. So we're going to use this practice to connect to earth and what it means to us. So it's going to rely heavily on senses, and that connection to earth is our senses. And as we connect to earth, sometimes emotions come up, and we're going to just bring our awareness back to the earth and breathe in and breathe out. So take the hands to the sternum, press gently on the sternum, lift the sternum into the hands, tilt the hands in any place that you can feel that balance and that tension, that engagement. You want a little engagement, not a huge engagement, but just enough. Take a deep breath in and out. Feel the connection of your sits bones on the ground. Settle into that. And again, inhale and exhale. Make an intention for this practice. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, inhale the hands all the way up. Exhale, circle behind you, fingertips point away. Inhale, let the heart lift towards the sky. Exhale, fold down. Walk down, use your hands, prop yourself if you need to, and just relax and sink into this folded position. As you inhale, let your body fill. Feel the breath push into the back side of the body, behind the heart. And on the exhale, feel that oxygen drip down the spine into the earth. Inhaling, take your time, roll all the way up, and when you get to the top, little circles with the neck. I'm going to grab onto my ankles so I stay really straight up and I have a little structure. You can also use your knees, and you don't want to feel any pain, so you just want to make the circle feel good to you, and just make that connection, really stay rooted in the earth. Keep the breath deep. Feel yourself breathing all the way down into your body. Inhale, breathe into the back. Sink the breath deep. Chin to the chest, hold there. If you're holding onto your ankles, you can feel that gentle stretch along the erector spinae on either side of the spine. Really root into the top and the bottom of that. And in your mind, as you breathe, picture the energy and the breath flowing in that line of energy you can feel as you pull on your feet, tuck your chin. I'm going to relax my jaw and not talk here and just breathe into the beginning and the end of that spine. And as you explore this breath and this visualization here, there's two ways you can inhale from the top and go into the earth and root into the earth, and then draw that energy back up the spine, or you could reverse that. You could pull the energy from the earth and inhale. And as you exhale, follow the energy back into the earth, letting go of what you no longer need. And then if you can remember, you're going to reverse the head circle and go the opposite way. This time we're going to take the nose and we're going to stop on the way up. And again, we're going to breathe into the spine. As you have the chin up here, it's hard to breathe into the back of the spine, but it helps to sip the air from up to down the spine. In this position, at least I find that for me, not to visualize from the earth, but visualize the breath going down into the earth on the inhale, and then on the exhale, drawing energy back up the spine towards the tip of the nose or the crown of the head. And then when you're ready, you're going to come into a neutral position, bringing the head into a neutral position. And again, let the hands rest on the lap. Circle the thumb and index finger, and if you're feeling nauseous or dizzy, that is natural because when we stretch the spine like that, it's pretty intense. So take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth if you're feeling that way. You can also put your hands on the floor to give you a little grounding, and take a breath in, inhale, and let it go through the mouth. And again, inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. And one more time. Inhaling, softening the elbows through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And then blink the eyes open. to warm up the hips and the torso, we're going to do some circles. So inhale as you move around. It can be a Sufi's grounding, but just make it whatever you want. So no formal structure to this, except for inhaling forward or exhaling back. And again, you could change that to an inhale for the full. Just going to get some movement into our body, and you can still picture the energy still coming from the earth up your spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, coming from the crown chakra all the way down the spine into the earth. As it comes into the earth, that first chakra, it's like a disc. And if you can visualize this whirling disc of energy just below your sits bones in the earth, kind of revolving in several dimensions. So not only is it going along the sagittal plane, but also the frontal plane. And if you can picture that, well, I'm trying to do it while I'm going around, it's hard, underneath you and pulling up from that energy, but it's still sinking into the earth. So that's what you're trying to picture. You're going to inhale that up through the crown chakra and then pull it down through the earth, and you keep your center here through that breath, because the breath is our connection between the two. And then take it in the opposite direction. So as you inhale forward, switch directions. You might get your shoulder blades into it so you can feel that breath, feel the back of your heart. So as you inhale, you feel the breath filling all the rib cage and the heart cavity, behind the sternum, behind the shoulder blades. And then as we practice, we work for consistency as we do that, with awareness as we do that without judgment. And as we begin to feel that space and learn and explore that space, we can return here to find our groundedness by coming back to the center and drawing up, relaxing the shoulders down, gently tilting the chin to lengthen through the crown of the head, relaxing the hands on top of the thighs with the thumbs up or the fingers up, curling up gently. You can encircle the thumb and index finger to keep the current going as you inhale. And exhale. As you inhale and exhale. And then releasing that out, we're going to come on our hands and knees. So when I think of grounded, I think of close to the floor. So I might not even go up to standing. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. And I like to use cat and cow for sure for grounding, because I like to use the earth to push against. But I want to picture my hands and my legs growing roots into the earth, but the kind of roots that bend so that I can move my body out of that position. So think of something organic and living, and how the roots, they have to grow. They have to grow in all directions. They have to grow up and down and in to hold themselves in place. And everybody knows in COVID, we need roots to hold us into place and to be strong and fed. So that's what we're doing right here to ground. We're feeling the earth. And for me, moving my body helps me feel it. And music helps me feel it. So enjoy both of those. And find your position on your hands and knees so that the shoulders can be wide and you can push into the earth and feel that connection through your hands. Because our hands are really a connection to the earth, but they're so close to the upper part of our body, we sometimes forget that they need to be grounded too. And if you want to curl back your toes and feel the toes moving, take some rocks side to side, maybe move your neck around. Just find that position. positions, and I like it because it looks like a rabbit on the moon is holding a rabbit on their lap. That's basically what they named it mythologically for in some traditions. So picture yourself just rounding like the moon and releasing into the earth. Make any adjustments you need to make here, but just breathe in and out. Be aware of the breath. And then when you're ready, come up onto the hands and knees. We're going to pull the left leg forward. The right leg is back with the knee. If you want to cushion your knee, you can. It doesn't have to be a full lunge. I'm not at 90 degrees, but sometimes this feels comfortable on people. So I'm going to take it a little longer so I get a little bit more stretch in my hands, in my hip flexors. Holding onto my knee, you could use blocks and you could go low. This is considered a low lunge. Also, sometimes I curl my toe back. That way I can lift my knee if I want to. It won't happen in this practice, but it also gives me a little better stretch in my hip flexor, which I'm looking for, and I'm loose enough to do. So make any adjustments you need. Pad your knee if you need to. We're going to stay in this lunge for just a second, but it's an active lunge. You can see that we have to really work at it to stay here. I could come up with my hands. I'm going to wait for just a second and just breathe and see how I feel here. Pushing into the earth with my left foot. I want to scissor my inner thighs together so I really anchor my sacrum. And when I anchor my sacrum, I'm feeling grounded here. So I'm just going to breathe in this grounded. I'm going to get a lot of benefit just from what I experience in this. And oftentimes we just pop by sweeping our arms up. So this is a nice position to stay in, to feel what is tight on our bodies. And again, going back to that visualization of the breath. And I'm going to take my right arm, which is the leg that's back. So if you have the opposite, you want the leg that's down. And I'm going to sweep it up with my inhale as I picture the breath coming down my spine and down through the earth, down the back of my leg and into the back toe, through the front of the leg and down into the ground. So I'm going to picture that breath. And as I do it, I'm going to lift my right arm up with the palm scooping up through space. On the exhale, I'm going to bend the elbow here, like I'm going to touch it back, pull the elbow in and drop the arm down on the exhale. So it's like you're scooping water on yourself. So in this position, with my hand supporting myself, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now both arms. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Checking in with my body, feeling a little shaky, rebalancing, focusing on the breath. On the third one with both arms, place the leg down, place the hands down if you can and it's accessible. Lift the back knee. Step back into a plank and hold plank. You can also lower the knees here if you want. One side might feel really tight, and that's okay. Lengthen through the crown of the head and do that breath in plank pose. Inhaling through the crown of the head, softening anything that needs to be softened. Broaden through the shoulders. Push into the earth. Feel rooted through the toes. Belly's drawing up. Breathing into the back of the heart. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, lower to the earth. And then open the legs about hip width apart, and take a cobra or a gentle back bend. If you want to do you're feeling good and you can go up a little higher, that's fine. Receive some breaths in here. Same thing applies, growing roots into the ground. Flexible roots that allow you to lift and open towards the sky. It doesn't sound good? Probably needs to be tuned right. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Take the hands down by the shoulders with the fingertips at the top of the shoulders. Draw the elbows in towards your rib cage. Bring the feet closer together. They don't have to be together, but we're going to still draw the inner thighs in. If you can have the heels touching, that's awesome. If you have that flexibility in your low back, we're going to inhale and come up into a little cobra. And then lower down and push back again into child's pose or rabbit pose. And then when you're ready, we're going to come right back up. This time the right leg is going to go in front and the left leg behind. Again, it doesn't have to be a lunge. Just want to make sure this knee is at 90 degrees and that the knee's not going over the pinky toe. So this is a more flexible side of me, so I'm going to take a little deeper lunge here, but still keep my hands on the knee. Breathing here. Again, I'm going to curl the toe back on this foot so I could lift the knee if I wanted to. Drawing the inner thighs together, scissoring them together. Intrinsically, I'm kind of pulling my right foot back towards my left foot. So I'm trying to pull that together and also stabilize my pelvis. Left hand is down. We're going to scoop it up. Inhaling, picturing the breath coming in through the crown of the head. Exhaling down. And then both arms, scooping that water up, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. Placing the hands down, coming into plank again. Finding your position, grounding in this posture, maybe taking your feet a little wider if you're tired. Breathing here, finding where the tension is. So I feel the tops of my thighs really tense, and so I'm going to take it down to my knees here. Maybe point my toes. Find my earth here. Find that neutral position here where you could hold. Challenging, but you could do it. Inhale. And exhale. Take a cobra. Gentle. And from this point of gentle back bend, feel where you feel the sensation. So taking a gentle back bend is a really good way to see if your body's ready for a fuller back bend. So find where the tension is, and if you can release it and keep the engagement you need in here, then it makes it possible to do the same. So see if you can watch the breath flow through your body and feel your body in this posture so you're ready to receive it in a harder or a more challenging posture. Gently lower all the way down. Take the hands by the shoulders with the fingertips brushing the top of the shoulder. Draw the elbows in towards the rib cage to flank the rib cage, and take a little higher cobra. ground gently and slowly sit back into child's pose again. You're going to come into a seated position for just a moment, and we're going to let that kind of marinate. So come into any comfortable seated position where your back can be high up, can lengthen, and then notice any changes you've seen since the beginning of the practice or the end. But take that practice of the breath again back so that you can visualize the breath going down your spine and into the earth. So coming back to that center place. So we're going to warm up the shoulders before we do the grounding of a single arm balance pose. And so to do that, we're going to use a Kundalini method of raising energy up, and it's called axe handle. And basically, I've done this in class before. Your elbows are straight. You want to be mindful of your shoulders needs. So if you've had shoulder surgery or you have tight shoulders, if you're a weight trainer or you just worked out and your arms are sore, you know that you have issues in your shoulder, you want to keep it to a control that you can manage. There is a swing to it, but you don't want to swing way back if you don't have that flexibility in your thoracic and shoulder. So I control mine, and I have a lot more flexibility now, but I still do willfully control the range of motion that I do to protect my shoulder joints, because you can get really enthusiastic with this. So you're gonna hold, it's like you're holding an axe. Gentlemen, you would have the right thumb over the left, and women, you will have the left thumb over the right when you're holding that handle. The arms are straight, the elbows are straight, they're not locked out unless you have that capability. So you want to keep them kind of soft, but you want to try to avoid the bend, because the bend allows us to go way far back, and what we want is our range of motion. You don't want to touch your heel, though that happens when you're in this position. You can also do it on your knees, and you can do it sitting in a chair. If you're not able to do it, you could come out to a wide position like this so you can get that range of motion, but it doesn't touch the earth. So we're dealing with this realm and this realm, just above the earth. So we're going to pull that energy that we can feel up through this and raise it up with this posture, so we can do our one arm posture, so it's also good for warming up the arms. Okay, so here we go. So it's an inhale up, exhale down, and it's through the nose. Here we go. Keep going. The gaze is down the tip of the nose or with the eyes closed. Inhale up and hold. Hold it up there. Hold the breath in as long as you can. When you exhale, you're going to sweep your space, close your eyes, hold the breath in. If you can, draw up on your Mula Bandha your sex organs, your anus. Draw in on the lower belly, tilt the chin slightly. And again, when you're ready, on the exhale, exhale any way that feels comfortable, sweep the hands. Place the hands on the earth for just a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths in. One way to ground a little bit more would again return to the breath where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And we're going to do a one-arm balance. So it's going to be a side plank. We're going to approach it from cat and cow. So we're going to be on our hands and knees and tabletop. And I'm not going to do I'm going to do a very progressive one-arm balance. So this one I'm not even really going to put a lot of weight into my hand. So the first thing I want to do is prepare my hands to be grounded. So I'm just going to kind of gently rock back and forth like we did in the beginning, just becoming aware of where my hands are. And as I rock back and forth and breathe, I'm going to slide my right hand to the center of the mat and bring the left one up on the fingertips and put a little bit more weight into my right arm and hold right there. So my right arm is right under my shoulder. My body is sideways because I'm putting less weight into it this way. But it feels pretty good. I'm going to soften my elbow a little bit. There's still some shaking. We'll rotate the eye of the elbow gently towards the end of the mat. Not paying a lot of attention to it because my hand is not in perfect position. But the idea is it's gently rotating outwardly as you push into the earth, and you're going to slide the right knee forward towards the wrist. So you want the wrist, the knee, and the shin in one line, and then you're going to stick the left leg back and rotate the hip up. If you feel good here, you can stay here and just stay here and breathe. And my left leg is really extended, like I'm pushing into the earth really hard with my foot, so I can feel that and see if I have that flexibility. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to gently lift one arm up, and I can feel it in my elbow, so I'm going to put more weight into my knees so I can come up on the fingertips here. So now I have a nice one-arm balance, even though I'm balancing mostly on my leg. And I'm going to take the arm down just like I did before, and I'm going to scoop it around and up. And as I scoop it around, I'm going to look at it. So it comes up and around, and then back down. And then the dance of the breath begins. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Might come down to my hand again. When you're ready, you're going to rotate back onto the hands and knees. And then you're going to take that leg that was down, the knee that was down, and extend it out, and then bring it across the body. And look over your left shoulder at that right leg behind you. And that's a Lacey Sanchez stretch right there. All right, and then bring it back in. And sit back gently into child's pose. We gotta do the other side. See if you can release out any tension in your neck and shoulders here by stretching those arms out and letting the chest sink towards the thighs, drawing in and rounding like the moon, holding a hair on its lap. Coming back up for the other side. So we're in our hands and knees. You might really feel it. I feel it in my right side right now. So I'm going to kind of shimmy and shake a little bit so I don't feel it so much. Maybe sit back on my heels a little bit. Bounce my knees up and down. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so other side. So we're going to slide that left hand under her nose. Really feel that. And then ever so gently rotate the elbow towards the end of the mat. I don't have a lot of weight in my hand because it's right under me and I have my weight behind me. So I'm going to come up on that, knowing I'm going to be able to transfer weight into another part of my body so I can explore this position. So now the left leg, the left knee is going to come up as close to the wrist as you can get. You're going to make sure the shin is in the same line as it, and then extend the right leg behind you, flat on the floor, and then open the hip up. And that might be enough because you might feel it in your low back. So if you feel it, you want to do whatever you need to do so you find that neutral position. And then you can stretch up here, maybe coming to the fingertips. And so we're going to go, let's see, this is backwards, so we got to go, let's see. I'm going to, that doesn't seem right. Let's see. Okay, so the arm has to come down and around for me to scoop. Oh, wait, one long line. Okay, I got this. Turn the palm up and scoop. Okay, you're going to scoop water, however that works on this side. I don't know. I don't have this worked out on the left. Gently coming back through and sitting back into child's pose. Again, no right or wrong way to do this, just exploring what it feels like to do that one arm balance and coming back into child's pose. With that, roll up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up, and come back to center again. So we'll be going onto our back where we'll finish practice. But before we do that, we want to return to that visualization of the breath pouring in through the top of our head, rooting us into the earth, and then drawing it back up. And we practice this because the practices that come after this will build on that, on the elements. So we're visiting Earth, so we want to return to our center so we can find it and regroup. And also just kind of assimilate where we are. So as you noticed, I didn't know how to do it on one side because my body couldn't figure it out, which means I can take another opportunity to explore that side and learn how to verbalize it better, for one thing as a teacher, but also just to understand what my brain is doing with my hand in space. So as you come through the center, we're going to go back to that deep breathing and let it come into our body and come into that first chakra. Feel that disc whirling and turning in all directions and meeting us from beneath the earth into our realm here with the breath. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Breathing into the back body behind the heart, all the way down the spine into the earth. And feeling that powerful connection with the earth through our breath, coming down onto our back. So as you come onto your back, Bend your knees and find a place where your feet are flat on the floor. That could be out for you. For me, it's closer to my rear. I like to have that buoyancy and ability, and it feels very grounded here. So find that nice, comfortable position on your back. If you need to, you can put something under your head. I often do, just so I can take out the neck tension. So a lot of times when we're working with the legs and the lower body, you're going to have it in the neck and shoulder area, which is definitely my area of tension. So you want to make your head comfortable in this position so it can be neutral too. Lengthening the hands down towards the feet. They don't have to touch the feet. And just resting gently here. Maybe taking one hand on the belly and one hand on the solar plexus and feeling that breath as you breathe and getting the feedback from the earth as you breathe. So inhale, fill the belly up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And the hand that's on the solar plexus. Feel the inhale. And the exhale. So get a little deeper into the hand below it that rests on the lower belly and into the pubis area. Inhale. And exhale. Now notice any place you're having tension or holding. Might be the neck and the shoulders. See if you can adjust that. For me, it's just the touch of my hands on my belly, so I'm going to let them relax to my side. Same concepts involved. I'm going to pull the breath in through the crown of my head and feel it go along the back body, down my spine, and into the earth. I'll also feel it make that transfer in my pelvis down the front of my legs and into the earth. So I kind of picture it as the way my veins in my body go. So I'm going to take that breath and really breathe in this position. And I will begin moving in a moment. My feet are flat on the floor. Just feeling this nice pull of the earth to help me. Inhale, pull the breath in. Exhale, let it sink. Picturing that energy sweeping down the spine as I exhale, it drips out into the earth. Nutrients in on the inhale, what you don't need on the exhale, into the earth. So we're going to let the arms rest, but dig the elbows in. We're going to lift the hips off the ground on the inhale. Press them back down to the exhale, not trying to get to the fullest extent, so not trying to get so high up, but trying to feel the openness in our hips. So if you lift up, you want to feel really stable here. So it helps to kind of feel your body in this position, and there shouldn't be any discomfort. I am on my shoulders here, but you could take a block underneath you if you needed to. So we want to feel this position where it feels pretty good, and we could stay here for a bit. And then that home position down here on the exhale where everything sinks. So we're going to do a few lifts like that. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Still picturing that line of energy going through the top of the head as you inhale. All the way up, feeling the belly and the pelvis. Feeling the front of the legs and the back of the heart. And then exhaling and feeling that just drip down into the ground. Now we have our elbows here to help us, so we can inhale and lift up and exhale down. So we don't have to do as much work bit less into our shoulders too, with the elbows pushing down so we don't have to worry about our neck as much. And we're not going so high. So we're going to do this a few more times because we're going to add the arms into this. So you have to feel like this is home position down here. So maybe not traveling as far up. Inhaling, just lifting, pushing into the earth slightly. Exhaling down. Notice any neck or tension you're having. Inhale up. Exhale down. Getting that line of energy moving up. As you inhale, feeling it pull down the body and sink into the floor on the exhale. Or whatever paradigm you want to use visually. Inhaling, sweeping the hands overhead as they come towards the shoulders. You exhale. You could do this like a wave and roll down one vertebrae at a time, like I'm doing. Or you could do it as one unit. Just depends on how you feel. And for me, I have to roll like a wave here. So kind of picture it like water rushing over you, covering you up, and then washing down your body into the earth. Bent here too. You can also bend your knees. You want to still stay engaged with the earth. Take the feet up at 90 degrees. You may have to bend them here. If you need to prop your butt, that's a good way to raise the rear and take out the back of the legs being tight. So if you raise, you can also raise, put something under your rear here. And what we're going to do is we're going to let the foot kick the rear. Now, when I first started doing this, I'm just going to keep talking. I couldn't bend my left knee because I had knee surgery, so it took like about a year before I could touch my rear. But it's one of those daily tasks. So we'll go with the beat of the drum here. Great way to ground you here. The drum works the same way. Banging the drum is also very grounding, so this is a really good way to ground yourself. And you're supposed to do like 3 minutes a day, but usually I only do like a minute, but we got some time today, so we're doing a bunch. It helps to do it with someone, because this is a really terrible motion, right? Speed it up a little bit. We'll be here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and slide your legs out. Release your hands to the earth. Release your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move in any way that you need to as you bring your knees into your body, perhaps, and rock a few times forward and back, or side to side. Let your head go in the opposite direction. As we can see from the drumming and the support, we've done some yoga facilitations with music and learned from some really amazing musicians. When you play during Shavasana and you hear that vibration, that sound is something that grounds us. Like music grounds us to the earth, and it also expands us. So I really like using music in a grounding practice like this. And this practice is based on nonviolent communication, as it's I've been learning about it in restorative practices. And why I think it's important is as we use the element of air is, to me at least, it's communication, and sound is a part of that. But we're here on Earth right now, so you can see how all the elements really go together to help create a place that we can call home. And when we're missing any one of those elements, it's almost like we're out of balance. And since Earth is our first element, our primary element that we really experience, that connection is so important. And yoga is one of the ways that we can invite ourselves to reconnect with ourselves, our physical selves. And that's what this practice is based on. Nonviolent communication is nonverbal as well as verbal, so I felt like it was a good place to start off. And if you want more information, you can check out the links below to some of the people that I've been studying under and reading about and learning and trying to work into my classroom and into my yoga and into my daily life. And every practice in nonviolent communication is a grounding practice. It is an internal practice. So unlike restorative practices, which require you teaching the language of consent, which is not it was a worthwhile activity, it's something you can do right in the moment to help create habits that are loving and compassionate and recognize difference and celebrate diversity. And also recognize that there are groups of people that have been oppressed and continue to be oppressed. And that's where I think that this practice is going. So I hope you enjoyed it today. We're going to take a breath together. I do very much appreciate the live music. I don't know where Mr. Man went, but thank you very much for joining me. Next week will be water. And I have to tell you, I'm really excited about this because it's really a practice, a mindfulness practice, and we can do it any place and return to that place of home. And it's empowering. That's empowering in itself to know that we have that ability to make that choice, even in great, pandemic. Like, you have survival issues, and Earth is always where you return to discover what you really need. So I really enjoy this a lot. So I am excited about sharing it with you. So let's come together and rub our hands together one more time. Feel that heat. Bringing it to the heart center together. Let's take a breath in, inhaling, feeling that energy that we all share, that breath that connects us to each other and to the earth. Together, let's breathe. Inhale. And exhale. And in gratitude for us practicing together, let's inhale. Exhale. I'm going to just take my hands over my head. light to all, truth to all, and love to all. I wish you many blessings and Sat Nam. Namaste. See you next Sunday. Thanks for joining me today. Hi, Shannon.